Hi, good day students. Today's videos we will discuss about the recruitment, the selection, and the placement. These three important functions of human resource management is very important in considering a business. So for the first place, we will identify and define first the meaning or the definitions of HRM or the human resource management. So human resource management is the practice of recruiting, hiring, and deploying and managing an organization employee. So siguro no need to elaborate this meaning because this is very understandable, so I hope na masabtan na ninyo ni. But before we proceed to the definitions of the three important functions of the human resource management, which is recruitment, selections, and placement, so allow me first to explain to you also the project in this subject, final project, which is stated here. As you can see in the monitor, so project and final management 1 principle of management. So we have three questions here. So the first question is for you to answer is you have to cite at least one example for each human resource management functions. So as mentioned earlier, the three functions of human resource management are the selection, the recruitment, and the placement. So you have to give at least one example for each. Second one is the importance. What is the importance of these three functions? And you have to explain it briefly. The third one is you have to draw an image for each functions of human resource management. So we have note here also for you to comply and before you submit this final project for your final, so you have to attach your complete name and the block number. So I hope that this is very understandable and I hope nga nasabtan ra ninyo ni tanan. So now we proceed to our discussion, which is we have the three functions definitions, which the first function of human resource management is the recruitment process. So as stated in the monitor, you can see the meaning and the definition of the recruitment. Recruitment is the process of actively seeking out, finding, and hiring candidates for a specific position or job. So the recruitment definition includes the entire hiring processes from the inception to the individual recruit's integration into the company. So siguro masabtan na nimo na ang meaning sa recruitment o unsa ng recruitment. So I will cite an example of recruitment. If the employer is recruiting members of recruiting members for painting group, so or a group of an army. So the verb recruit refers to the formally joining a group or organization. So the word recruit is commonly used when someone is participating and in the process of getting a job. So mao na kasagaran kung magbuhat sila recruitment process para naay daghang ma-apply. So for example, nag-hire sila og trabahante. So I hope nga nasabtan ninyo na yung recruitment definition. So another function of human resource management is the selection process. So what is selection? Selection process is a process is a process of identifying an individual from a pool of job applicants with the requisite qualifications and competences to fill jobs in the organization. So this is an HR process that helps differentiate between the qualified and the unqualified applicants by applying various techniques. So another example of this selection is, for example, a certain company is conducting a writing test for a potential candidates to gauge or to measure their writing abilities. So the purpose of the employment test is to determine whether the candidates have the necessary skills and ability that can be appropriately utilized in the accordance to the job. So di na nako i-elaborate pa. So I hope nga masabtaran ninyo ni kay kaning mga English nga gigamit dire. It's a very simple English ra. So you can differentiate now what is recruitment, what is selection. So selection is, as mentioned earlier, is identifying an individual. So you have to select, you have to identify an individual which is capable, which is fit for a certain job. So another functions of human resource management is the placement process. The placement process. So as stated in the screen, placement is referred to the process of connecting the selected persons and the employer in order to establish an ongoing employment relationship. So in this step, the employee is given an activity or he or she needs to perform and told about his or her duties. Placement is usually followed by the orientation process. So after recruitment, selection. So after selection is the placement process. So example of placement is, in a very simple word, placement means sending a newly employed person. For example, gikan sa recruitment, gikan sa selection. So placement na. So ang company mag-send na siya newly employed person so to some department for work, so specific person. So it is also implies the assigning of specific work and responsibility to an individual. So mo na gitawag og placement process. So that three important function of human resource management is very vital in the business. So remember that three functions of human resource management. So now we will proceed to another topic, the screening interview. So the screening interview, the selection interview, and we have also the physical and mental examination. So we have here so many things to be learned in the future. So but the best thing is you have to study your lessons because our final is coming next week for final exam. So I will just read here the vacancy and the recruitment list. The various levels of management of the whole organization must continuously relay to the HR staff the vacancies that need to be filled, the new employees, the position that have been created to support an expanded operation, and positions that need to be filled in the near future due to the notice of retirement or resigning on the part of incumbents. So maunay buhaton sa HR in times of na ay mga gusto nang mo-retire, gusto na ay mga vacant position in a certain department. So ang HR maoy the right person who is in charge for that, the vacancies and the recruitment. So the monitoring of the informations on the recruitment to be done and the compilation of the list for the vacancies to be filled in is another vital pre-recruitment step. So this is very understandable, guys, so, students. So no need for me to elaborate more. So we have also here the screening and the application and the applicants. So the flow of applications to the HR staff gives rise to the screening of the application to find out who should be given a chance to meet the initial interview. So mo ni flow na buhaton so while screening the application and the applicants. At this point, the applicant is evaluated is the fitness his or her qualification to the job, subject to further screening. When qualification fall short of expectation of management, so the applicant does not get invited for interview. Obviously became it not necessary. So halimbawa, di na good siya angayan o di siya mapapasar in the screening test. So not necessary nga ato na siyang i-invite for final interview. So the screening interview we have here also. The initial interview is used to check on the interest in the application form in order to find out whether the applicant should move on to take different test results that are integral to the selection process. This interview is to limit the number of examinees to those who have a chance to pass and to weed out to those who will not be good choice even they pass the test. So manitaw screening interview. So in the screening interview, the applicant is appraised for personality traits like grooming, manner of speaking, family, and commonly community background, relevance to the experience to the job applied for, and the interest in the applications which need first-hand verification from the applicant. So, muna gitawag og screening interview. So, palihog lang po kung review ninyo sa inyong module nga akong gihatag. So, naani tanan sa inyong module ako arang gi-review ang mga special ang mga important things here. We have also here the mental ability and skills test. So once the interview or the screening interview has determined in the inclusion of the applicant in the list to those who take the employment test, he or she is told to report for a mental ability test, which is where will be determined ability to cope with the mental processes involved in the job. Another kind of test involves that the measurement of skills. Usually is the use of equipment. So in some organizations, aptitude and the other psychological tests are given to find out how the applicant will behave under varied situation. So we have also here the selection interview. Another kind of employment interview is the selection interview. So which is done after the applicant has passed the mental ability and skill examination. So mao na buhaton after nga mopasar ang applicant sa tawag og kini mental ability and skills exam. So this interview is sometimes done to deepen the background check on the applicant and find out how the applicant views working in the organizations. So we have also here physical and mental examination. Once the management is satisfied with the qualifications and the personality of the applicant, the next step is to require a passing the physical and the medical examination. So kani siya, familiar ni siya or very popular ni siya sa mga private company, even not private company. So nakinahanglan gyud physical and medical examination. So this requirement is to preclude the hiring of individual who will not have stamina for work. So who has inherent physical disability, who is prone to have a bad reaction to condition in the workplace, who is already sick but not appear in such. So importante kay ng physical and mental examination. So we have also here the appointment to a position. After going through the selection process, so gikan sa recruitment, sa selection process, so we have the appointment of position. The applicant who has been found suited to fill a job or position is hired by the organization by the way of the appointment, which may be probationary, temporary, or contractual. So in the public sector. A very important aspect of appointment to the position is the government service, is the compilation of the employee's personal record for transmittal for the Civil Service Commission for approval. So we have also here job placement at the new worker. The final stage in the entry process for the new worker is the placement in the specific job or the positions for which he or she has been hired. So this is the last step, the last functions of the human resource management. As mentioned in the first place, I mentioned the three functions of the human resource management, which are the very important. So the recruitment, the selection, and the placement. So the final stage is the placement. So mauna siya pinaka final stage. This stage attests to the fitness of the worker to the job. So it is here that the characteristics are revealed during the selection will be tested. Whether the worker will be effective on a job will depend on how he or she adapts the duties and essential interaction at the workplace. So, muna gitawag job placement to the new employee. So, we have also here the scope of recruitment policy. Every organization should establish a body of policies to guide the actions of personal staff who might pursue recruitment with any method can be imagined in the absence of the specific guidelines. Among the important matters that recruitment policy should cover as follows. So we have here the intra-organizational recruitment. So we have also the recruitment of workers' relatives. We have the third one is the recruitment with age limit. Fourth one is the recruitment of applicants with experience. So the recruitment from competition. We have also the campus recruitment. We have also the recruitment through the placement offices, the open recruitment. So those are the important scope of recruitment policy. We have also different tests here. The following are the commonly used type of tests in the selection of employees. So we all know that the three important functions in the human resource management are recruitment, selection, and placement. So in selection process, we have to consider the test and the business here. So the first one is the intelligence test. This test is to find out how well the mind of the applicant function is regard to such mental processes as the proportions, relatives, comparisons, contrast, and the inversion, the association, and deduction, distinction, and clarification. So these are the basic used to mental ability on the job. So we have also the language proficiency test. So language is a basic to the performance of work where communication must flow in the course of performing job and rendering reports. So another one is the arithmetic ability test. So the test of ability is to solve some computational problem type questions is to administer to applicants to find out if they are number literate. So we have also the aptitude test, the personality test, the skills and manipulative test. So those are tests that we are going to consider in the selection process of employee. So just read your modules for review, and these all things are covered in the final exam. So another here is the interview as a selection process. In the effort to hire the best worker for the job, the HR staff lines of interviews of applicants by members of the selection committee who are often made up the HR specialist, the supervisor, and the middle of the top management officer. When the committee conducts an interview in a group, it is using the group techniques wherein every applicant passes through the group. Sometimes the team method is used and involves having each member of the committee interview the applicant separately and then compare notes at the end of the session. This lesson is covering the selection, recruitment, and placement processes. So please review this topic, students, for your final exam, and I will give also a quiz for this topic. So please review and study your lesson in advance. So as of this today, so that's all our topic. So we will discuss another topic for the next meeting. So thank you for listening, and I hope you will study your lesson, and good luck to your final exam. So palihog lang ko submit sa final project ninyo, students, management 1. So palihog lang ko ibasa unya i-submit ninyo. Pwede ninyo i-submit sa GCR, inyuhan ni siyang kanang kuan i-picturean lang niya. I-submit nyo sa GCR, i-attach inyong kompleto ngalan o ang block number. Palihog lang para makita na ko dito kinsay nag-comply sa inyong mga performance o mga projects ninyo. So good luck and thank you for listening.